going live on YouTube, and I'm quite sure that I will need to hit that my stream is running, or maybe not. This time I don't need to refresh. So, around 15. And I guess as well I can start. What do you say about Cast blog? We talked about it earlier before he posted the blog, and I said exactly what is this FFT set. So where is this? That the reason for this rule wasn't that you shouldn't use code that is accessible only to you. Is this FFT? No. Wait, who posted the comment? Yeah, is this FFT? So I agree with this guy. Whatever, here we go. I agree. Discord ping, good reminder, thank you. You were CF15. Discord is pinged. Right. It was a stupid post. Castcar was aware that it's not a valuable post, but he wants the rules to be fixed. First problem. I want to put here info about the problem. Here we go, starting with A. Select K characters, permute them. Minimum K so that it is possible to sort. This should be very easy. My first thought is that we need bit masking. Something is... I'm not logged in. Yeah, sorry. So the upvote didn't work. Now I am logged in. Oh, yeah, no, right. If anything is out of order, if every pair of elements is out of order, then I need to use both. I will iterate over pairs of characters. Like if I see D, or maybe I see O, and after that E, it means that both O and E must be swapped. Am I right? That's a very difficult A. I wouldn't use it as division to A in my contest, in my round. Here the solution is harder than the implementation. In such a case I will implement. Source string then check for changes? What? Why? No. I don't understand why that has any sense. Let's update the link. Nope. This thing. A was easiest. A is usually easiest. So this is my solution then. But I will not implement all the problems. ICPP, please. Minimum characters you have to move is those that differ, obviously. Oh, I see. I see what you're talking about. Okay, but I will implement my solution just to be sure that it works. For every pair, If they are out of order, then both should be taken. Answer will be set of characters. Of course, it would be faster to use an array, Boolean array, but this is more convenient and we don't worry about the speed. Incorrect? I messed something up. I'm not reading the link. Your solution with sorting the string and comparing, that's also not that easy. I instead look at characters that must be exchanged at least. I got a wrong solution, right? I think I see a counter test. Oh my god, I would so much screw this contest. CBA. My solution will say 3. And the answer should be 2. Yeah. I messed up. Nice. Very nice. Well, it's good that I implemented the solution. Sorry, I need to eat a little bit. Like today I ate only breakfast. Just sort the string low. I know that sorting is easy, but I still claim that this is a very difficult problem for this slot. Water? I'm hydrating. Not hydrating, eating. Will this work? I wonder how much time I would spend on this problem if not the chat here, because you told me how to solve it. No. No. Should I say that we replace 2? I don't know why that would matter. I wondered if here I should say S2. I will try, because I will try as well during the contest. 5 versus 6. Short stream to cover rank of a matrix. Yeah, but that will be next LeetCode stream. Tourist is already done up to D and about to finish. Well. Oh, I've misread the statement. I thought that we select characters as in characters of the alphabet. Okay. Okay. I think if I didn't misunderstand, I would get it right from the first try. Why did I use set of characters? Because I thought that we choose which characters out of the alphabet we are allowed to touch. Well, I spent almost 10 minutes, including an incorrect submission and help from the chat. That's very nice. It was 250 for some reason. Well, it wasn't 250 because it was unusually easy. It was 250 just to make space for other problems. So ignore the 250 thing. Okay. I hope that the next problem will be easier. I wonder how many people tried to participate in this contest. I'm sure that it's more than 20,000. B. Gupta took 1 hour on B. Look at this. I bet I will do it in at most 59 minutes. There are 5 orderings of an athlete. For every pair, one is superior to the other. Okay. I think this is like taking maximum out of everybody. So like, this literally defines what means that one is greater than the other, and it says find the maximum. If so, that's a cool problem, I think. I don't know if we need 5 permutations, maybe 3 would be enough. So I will find the candidate just in linear time and then check if it's indeed the maximum. Template from Google Code. Oh, why am I implementing this? This is an easy implementation. I should skip, right? Okay. Now I started, so I will finish, but I said already like 5 times that that I will not implement all the problems, all the solutions. And here, after coming up with a solution, I'm already now kind of sure that it's correct, unless the chat tells me that it's incorrect. And so I should have just moved to C, whatever now. If okay, we print the ID else -1, and we need a function better. Can there be ties? Hope not. No ties, great. 1 - 1 3 4, nope. So need to slow down and think what I messed up. Am I reading the input correctly? It seems so. This will be easy to debug. I say 3, they say 1. I see. I misunderstood what it means to be the best. I thought that bigger value means better. That's what you get for not reading the statement carefully. Yeah, regarding cost cast block, exactly what is this FFT set? I actually told this to Kostka before he posted the block. But he knows, he understands. The judging is pretty slow. Did you bite ice cream? No, not even close. C was harder than D? Let's see. Free cards. What is a card? Card is part of a circle? Okay. What's Gennadi's weak point? I don't know. You can look at my problem setting history, or just look at his contests. He got outside of top 100 in one of my rounds, so that's, I guess, that. I'm trying to understand the first paragraph. Those cards, they don't need to be disjoint, right? So they just split the circle in 3 parts? I will read this later. Oh, it just says that nothing is collinear by coincidence, that we don't have some intersection. Fine. So they just want to say that those points are, let's say, randomly distributed so that you wouldn't get any tie by coincidence. Now I understand. Okay, cards connect K pairs. Draw additional cards. Maximize the number of intersections. Oh, we need a drawing for that, for this. For any 3 lines, all 3 won't meet. Yes. Now I understand. At first, I didn't. I also thought that card is part of a circle. I mean that it's curved. I wonder if I'm able to draw a circle. Beautiful. It might be true that the remaining... Here I have 8 points. No. I wanted to say that maybe this is optimal to do the opposite pairs. But I doubt that this is true. And to find counter tests, I need to think about cases where there are only 4 points left. Let's see, 4 points left, and I want to show that it's better to connect them like this rather than like that. Well, that's not good. That's pretty stupid. You will only get more intersections this way, because you anyway intersect with that. Just with something more. This is better. Okay, so far I claim that it's always good to connect those pairs of points to the opposite one, like this. And the problem then becomes just to count intersections with the input. Is this correct? If so, I will not implement. Solved everything I did in 2.5 hours, but I cheated in E. Sorry, not in E, in A. Correct? Okay, moving on. I will not implement. Boring stuff. Just annoying indices. Checking, figuring out which exactly to connect. And then creating a function to check intersections. Annoying stuff. Can you repeat? Look only at the points that are remaining. Connect the opposite ones. D. So implementation of C is skipped. I can even put here info. A and B implemented. C solved, skipped implementation. This is so far. The order of the sequence doesn't matter, and we want to create something such that the differences of that appear here. This is of the same length. If we were allowed length at +1, easy. If in A we had 10, 12, and 50, I would as B create 0, 10, 22, and 72. But instead, I need to save one element, which means that there must be some cycle. I think that the problem asks whether there is two subsets of elements with equal sum. So we would save something, right? Starting from 0, if you want to get differences 10 and 15, you will create 0, 10, 25. Then if you want to also get 6 and 19, you will create 0, 6, and 25. So you saved 25. Okay, then my solution would be 3 to nth power, I guess. Maybe kind of I can do it faster. We can use meet in the middle for this, right? So 3 to 5th power. If so, we can solve it even for n up to 20. BCD easy, A not easy. But I misunderstood the problem. Then skip the 4 to nth brute force. I see. I think I would implement 3 to nth power with recursion. What if opposite? Why am I so serious? What do you mean? I'm not particularly serious. 2 to nth power, still all subset sum. See if any is repeating. Oh, that's right. 3 to nth ser. Iterate over all assignments where iterate over all ternary strings. There are 3 to nth power ternary strings, and each of them represents a split. 0 means we don't take this number, 1 means we take it for the first set, 2 means take to the second set. We require cycles because we need to save one operation. Right, I explain it somewhere here with this 1015, 619. The same, maybe I should do this. C and D. I'm not implementing. It would be a waste of time, so E. You want to ban tourist? Everybody uses codes from old contests. I'm sure that I did it too. I usually provide links because I'm worried about getting banned, but that's the only difference. Oh, I want to make sure that my stream is available. Is it? It is. Cool. Whoa, why do we have 200 viewers on Twitch? That's a lot for an Upsolving stream. Is there some more reason? They copied their own code? That's not true. They copied code by merit. So it's author's solution. E. N times k elements colored with n colors. Each color appears the same number of times. Interval of integers. Intervals. With size at least 2. The endpoints are with the same color, and it's the ith color. Each number belongs to at most that many intervals. What is this value? Let's think about an example, like n equal to 10, k equal to 2, or 3. Then each number in at most n divided by k minus 1, 5 intervals. What does it really mean? There are 30 numbers in some order. Yeah. And colors. Repetitions. So it's like saying that we have numbers from 1 to 10 mixed up with some repetitions. And so on. And now here I need to choose ranges. Like this might be a good range to take. Each of size at least 2, so each connecting 2 numbers of the same color, and for sure I will not, it's stupid to take 2 ones that are far away from each other. It's only better to take it like this. I think I can repeat a range, so maybe I will do it twice. What is this value? N divided by k minus 1. This is not clear to me. Here 5 intervals. So what? One interval for each color. Oh, thanks. What am I eating? Fish. Big K makes this limit tighter. For k equal to 1, can k be 1? No. For k equal to 2, we have something like this. Maybe I missed something. 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And at most n intervals. So for k equal to 2 I can do anything, which might be needed because the sequence can look like this, and this is the pessimistic case. Worst case for k equal to 2, because my ranges need to intersect. Hydrate later. I'm eating, later I will grab water. Proof by passing tests. Was proof given for D? I'm sure you will find proof in the editorial. The intuition was clear to me. Now, is this worst for k equal to 3? What should we do? We cannot do this anymore. But then some, I will shift over there. Why this username? Because it was available. Fish is water, it hydrates, exactly. I think that this problem is more difficult than the previous ones. It seems best, given a sequence, to find the first repetition and say that this should be the end of one interval. It doesn't even matter where it starts, because the worst will happen here. Then I'm looking here for the next number that already happened on the left, and I will say another interval ends there. This greedy shouldn't be that bad. Hi, Abdullah. There is police. I wonder how to interpret this sentence with there spelled like this. There is police. Belonging to them is police. Interesting sentence. I'm thinking here about doing greedy. Like, as long as I don't exceed the limit, I will do this greedy, and then I will not. So always I look for the first available end of interval. It's very hard for me to think about examples and counterexamples. Let's see if it solves this first range, then ending with 4. What's n is 4, k is 3, and divided by k minus 1 is 2. So I cannot do things anymore. I cannot end at this 2. Then there is 3. I cannot end at this 3. Then there is another 2. I can end there. Another 3. I can end there. Greedy worked. Can it happen that it will not finish until the end of the sequence? It got here 2 repetitions. Then this one got kind of wasted. But also this will be a very nice start of the next one. Unless another 2 is very late. Very, like, it's shifted to the right more. But what happens if 2 is at the end? Then after my first 2 choices, I cannot end at 2. I will then end at 3. Maybe if I had 5, I would use this 5. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's not true. 3 I cannot use. 1 is already used. I will use 3 over here. I think I should think about it like saying that now there is some split here. I cannot use this prefix of the sequence, so some elements are wasted. 1s and 4s are covered, 2 and 3 are wasted, but only one occurrence of them is wasted. And that will be the, if this is correct, then this is the key. 1s and 4s then I can ignore from the rest of the sequence, they don't change anything. At most one occurrence of every number got wasted here, and how many times do I repeat this? I have n colors, right? N colors. I don't want to do the math, but this, I guess that this will be okay. After satisfying or using that many colors, we waste one occurrence of each of remaining colors. I will repeat this step k times. What is even k? I would need to repeat this step k times to get out of colors. This is about right. I think that this can be messed up only because of the rounding. I'm not sure if this it should be k or k minus 1, but it seems okay. During the contest I would now start implementing, but here I prefer to still think, make sure about this. Income source of Gennady, winning Google Code Gems. Equation which is behind you. Not consciously, no. Their mom and dad? Sure. competitions. So I'm allowed to do this k times. Doing the above k times, I would lose. Let's think what happens after that. So k times used k times n divided by k minus 1 colors. Even ceiling of this, that's greater equal n. So we are out of all the colors. Because this is even greater. Wouldn't it be enough to say this? I claim that already this is greater or equal than n. No. I want two occurrences to remain here on the right. During the above only k minus 1 times I would lose. If k minus 1 times, I get rid of one occurrence of every other color, every remaining color, then I don't know what to do with the remaining colors. See the example. Let's say that I pair up 1 and 1, 2 and 2, and then also I waste 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Then there is this split. I again will waste most of them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe. You don't see it. And maybe here I will pair something up and so on. Now if here I already used, let's say, color 10 k minus 1 times, then this is game over for me because there is 10 here, but I don't know what to match up. I cannot match it with anything. I need here two occurrences of 10. So here I can use color 10 only k minus 2 times. If I do k minus 1 times, I already lose. So I here then need to say how do I get there? Okay, minus 1 times use that many colors are satisfied, but this product is at least n. So until I get to a situation where on the right there is only one occurrence of one color that is not satisfied, I already satisfied n colors. End of the proof. So the greedy was correct. Greedy solution that goes here, and always for a number, if it can be matched with something on the left, we do it. That's it. That's my solution. Chat, is this accepted? Is there any value in implementing this? I don't think so. I think it is. I'm not then that confident. Hardly anyone reached E. Compared to A, sure. F was maybe easier. Interesting. Let's implement. That is my alter ego? I don't think so. We're not on the same level. And by this I obviously mean that he's weaker than me at algorithms. He always gets lucky during competitions. This is the ceiling of that? I think so. This is the limit. I need to find previous occurrence of this element. I don't want to bother with to put there? This is -1. Do I want to iterate stuff and for every position know how many times it was used? It doesn't hurt. Okay. If occurrences at this position is already equal to the limit, OK is false. But if OK, then we mark all of that as taken. And we need to do something more, of course. I'm very lazy here with this maximum instead of thinking whether I should use N or K. Like this, and not done of this value. What do I print? Exactly this. Done. It's not -1, then we need to do it. I guess +1 and +1. We print n lines. Print n lines. Nope. What do you want? Cams should be built on everything, I believe. Still bad. Line 43, line 16. The mistake is here. Haven't declared variable OK, because that was an old comment. Inspired you to get into competitive programming? That's great. Good luck. CI is bad. Why? Something is wrong here. Do you upload the streams to YouTube? Yes, they are all available on YouTube automatically. Can you show that debugging slower? No, I don't want to do it every time, but you can Google about debugging with GDB. Maybe even I made a video for this, but I don't remember. 044. Am I not reading correctly? There are no test cases. I'm not reading well. Okay, the answer is not good. All minus ones. If this is not yet computed. I can believe that output. Oh, that was fast. Become expert in 2 months? If you're already good at programming and math, then I think so, yes. F might be easier than E. My time right now is 50 minutes, but I skipped some implementation. Though it was boring implementation. When reading the statement, I hoped that n is up to 20. But it isn't. I'm muted. I was muted, that's right. Yes, and up to 20 would be brute forceable, because the current state of everything is which portals are active and which are not. So you don't even then need DP. You would just simulate this and there would be 2 to 20 events, or maybe this times 20. How can we join your LeetCode Medium class? Send me an email or write to me on Discord. This is my email. It's available on YouTube as well. It seems similar to those problems where there are n stages. In each stage, maybe you have some probability pi of moving forward by 1, and otherwise you fall back. I don't remember if it's by 1 or maybe to the very beginning, something like that. And in O of n, get expected value of time to reach position n. This might be a related problem. Taking LeetCode classes now? I'm not taking LeetCode classes now, but I give LeetCode classes. GDB different? I don't know. For every position, we know what kind of range it covers. So getting here, it means jump there, and you're asking this prefix, hey, in this prefix, if I am here, how much time will I spend to get there again, and also what's the current state. Is the following sentence true? When you get to I, everything up to I minus 1 is active. Because you passed through it, so it became active. Is that right? If so, there are only n states. No, that's not true, because there is also stuff to the right. This is right? It seems right. You might pass through only a few of them. For everything from 1 to I plus 1 to I minus 1, it was true that for the last time I left it. So here's the proof. For every j from 1 to I minus 1, there was some last time when I moved from j to j plus 1, and they claim that then, when this happened, j became active. Lemma proof. Maybe I shouldn't use uppercase I here, say we or the ant. I didn't set an NDP contest. That's not true. If we are at this state, and then we fall back, then we will keep falling back for some time. Every position for every I, if I teleports you back, compute the time to get back here. I need this value. So there is something like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, also another one, and there's something here. I am right there. Then this one actually sends me back, and it becomes 0. I'm sent somewhere here. Then this one will teleport me back, and it will become inactive. And then here maybe I will move forward. This will teleport me, do this, X is here, something. I don't think we need to be that diligent here. Just let's think about one jump. Say that everything in the prefix is active. And this, if this is 0, I will just move on. I will just move forward by 1, like this, and this becomes 1. But this is 1. So 1 teleports me back somewhere, and it becomes 0. And then I'm here somewhere, kind of between two ones. I need just the sum of those values. I will use prefix sum. So the dp value we need for I is dp sum from xi to yi. Oh, some long comments in the chat. If everything is active, you will reach starting index and no go right. Yes, that's right, Gupta, but I don't want to process those, let's say, even 5 steps, because then the remaining sequence is very complicated. I don't want to say that I am somewhere, and then it's also important for me where we have ones and where zeros. Maybe the situation is like this because I fall back a few times. No, let's just focus on one teleport back. And let's say that this guy here, it actually knows what it needs to get back to 0. Because yes, we can say, okay, what's the next step? But we already computed this. We know what it costs to pass this one. And we know that this one teleports me back, but I already computed this. There might be here some off by 1, but generally it's this. X is greater. Actually, this means the sum of those that this is sum of those other j's that its x is here. Do you take any class for CP? No, I don't. I'm too old for that. I just don't train actively that much. These streams actually from time to time motivate me because I know that I want to anyway produce a stream, so why not practice as I go? It's some dark theme in Genie. What happens with 0 and 1 in the input? 0 means that I just pass through it in 1 second. Do distances matter? Yes, that it does matter. To DPI this is active, and I stand exactly here. Time to get back exactly here again. In particular, if it teleported us exactly here, this value would be 0. This seems like a fair definition. Portal takes 0 time. Instantly teleported. Yes, 0 time. This will be dp sum plus the distance. Because in total we will travel this, and sometimes we have those loops that we know how much time they take. Yep, I'm happy with this. I'm going to I wanted to say implement, but actually it's boring, isn't it? Prefix sums. Chat, let's make a poll. Do you want me to implement this? This, I think, is standard DP now. Or do we skip? So, code or skip. You can type in the chat. Type code skip. Yes, no would be too confusing. Skip, skip, skip. Okay, and you are the fastest. Easy stuff. Decided. I will quickly look at the editorial to see if they did the same. That was the lemma. What is Q? I looked already here, but I don't understand what is Q. Exactly, that was my DP definition as well. Q is the DP here from line 28. Yeah, the same. Good that we skipped. That's very good heuristic to decide if I should implement it. If I have the solution exactly the same with the one from editorial, then it's less valuable to code. Of course, still, maybe implementation is difficult and you want to see it, but it's not that my ready code at the end will be useful to you. So what now? GH and then pass. What are the times for people had for everything up to F? Tourist solved out of order. Nice time on I. But G can be solved in 16 minutes by tourist at most. But for others, it took... Yeah, I will not come up with G in 10 minutes. I can copy I as well. Okay. If I remember correctly what's PQ3, then I came up with this same algorithm myself a few years ago, and I have my implementation somewhere. GGG. I will read, then go get a water. University of Warsaw. It sorts any. Oh, by any they mean every. Okay. 2 at nth power, I think we can do. Maybe in squared? No. There is this very well-known way to test if some sort works properly. We can try all binary strings. Let's say that this is a well-known fact. it's enough to test sorting on 2 to nth power binary strings. If you apply this algorithm on a binary string, so a sequence of zeros and ones, and it is able to sort every such thing, we're good. And it's 40, so maybe it's meet in the middle. But those two halves are not independent. Can't code without Vim keybinds. Vim seems to be similar to Apple, where it's cool, but when you start using their products, you don't want to get back. I can imagine how Vim users are then much slower using anything else. Same for MacBook users. People say that it's kind of a cage, this ecosystem. Very hard except problem A? The other way around, you wanted to say. A was hard, the rest was easy. Maybe I can use the fact that K is that small? K is that small. Group... no. I wanted to say that two indices are the same if they appear in the same subset of sorts, but that's not a good limit. That would be... I think that I figured a way to say that n is kind of minimum of n and 2 to k power. Useless. And I don't even know if I'm able to do it. Yes, Xels, exactly that. Maybe I should have explained why this makes any sense. But indeed, that's the case. Solved faster than me. Problem A. I misunderstood the statement. Wait for some problem where I understand everything clearly and then I fail. Which I'm sure happened. I am thinking and getting water. What is a counterexample for just checking this? Sort 1 n, sort 2 n minus 1. 3 n minus 2. Okay. Actually, even if, so this says sort, but even if I say we swap first and last, we swap second with second class, this kind of algorithm is correct for your Gupta sequence of reversed numbers. Yes, that's a virtual machine for Ubuntu. How long do you give you time for yourself for improvement? Years? How can I use K? Maybe I should think where a number travels? Moving backwards? But moving forward is here easier, I believe, because when you move forward, you know what a sort does. When you move backwards, you basically say that here we had something sorted, and then you have arbitrary order. I thought about moving backwards. In first minute after reading this problem, I thought about maybe moving backwards, but it didn't seem viable. But I will write this down. Idea, maybe move backwards. Yes, I agree. You know the starting state. That's a very good point. Otherwise, for now, I don't know a starting state. I would need that many. So that's a strong thing. Maybe we should say that we start from anything like this. So then there are n ending states if we do that. Maybe we move backwards and for every position we know whether it can be 0 or 1. We consider, let's say, starting from here. When we now say backwards, we say sort those positions. Now each of them becomes 0 or 1. But only 2 of them are 1s. Is it only me? Stop. Stop using caps lock, stop asking unrelated questions. Backwards and forward in one go? I've never heard of such an algorithm. Unless it's like a DP that moves in both directions or some kind of 2 pointers. But I don't think you can simulate the process forward and backwards at the same time. Would it hurt to try random binary strings? If I just choose random, then each of them, if we think about it, has very small probability of being taken, in particular all ones. And is that bad? All ones is a stupid example. Can it happen that sorting doesn't work only for a small subset? I can believe that. Like a lot of zeros and only one digit 1. I think this is a very bad idea. I will say bad. I think it's bad. Is it fair to say that most of, at least some of those steps should touch almost everything? Idea. There must be a step with a subset of length, I don't know, maybe n over 2 or something. I wanted to say 20. That's not true for n being. Let's just assume that n is exactly 40. I think that's fair. And after such a step, the number of possible states gets small enough. If always we use only 20 numbers, I cannot believe how that sorts the whole thing. If we sort both halves, then you'll get this. Can you now with a few operations do it? I think it will be tricky. This idea might be correct, this lemma. And if this is the first step, I'm good, because if the first step has length at least 20, then the number of possible starting states is small enough. It will be like n times 2 to 20. I'm aiming for this time complexity. And this is the number of starting states, then you will get times k times n, and this might be an issue, but it's something already. It's close. It's close. What if this is not the first step? What if this is the last step? Xelos said that he solved the problem and doesn't understand the time complexity. Something like that would actually match my idea, where I'm not sure what's going on here, which makes me believe this approach even more. What do we do if the step is, let's say, even second? This big step. Steps disjoint from the big step. It is possible that every step will be with intersection 1 with the big step. Games? Not this month. The month is going to... the month will finish in a few days. I mean, not anytime soon. What if this is true? Okay, what about that? For n equal to 40, is some 10 steps of length 30 enough? What if I put here 25? In 2 steps we can particularly do this. I don't know. do not know. Until F, the contest, I think, was easy. And it makes sense. The number of accepted submissions drops here by a lot. So during a contest, if I hurried and implemented everything, I would get here too, quickly. I'm able to solve easy and medium problems quickly. And I would struggle. Guess makes me think that this is interactive problem, perimeter, that maybe it's geometry. So during a contest, now maybe in a few minutes from now I would read H. Maybe even I would do it before G. And I might do the same here. I might switch to H. Counts were very low during the contest, we can check. Or at least at the end. This works, right? Maybe not. 120 and 62, those are the same numbers. This is from the contest or in total? I can estimate by looking at I. I didn't have 30 correct submissions during the contest, so there is no way for me now to figure out statistics from the contest other than to look at the leaderboard and count myself. I don't know problem I yet, but maybe I know the PQ data structure. Look at someone's screencast to see the counts. That's a good idea. I like it. But I'm not going to. How many screencasts are there for every Codeforces round? 5? I really don't know. From the input we have step of size 5, then 10, 7, all of that, and then we have 30. Here there are few states and we can iterate over all of them. We can for each of them check if to the end we would finish. If for some state it is we wouldn't sort it until the end, then it can come from various states here. It's hard for me to figure this out backwards. Maybe those 10 positions where I not matter in a different way. $60. Thank you. How long was the contest? almost 3 hours. I see. First cheated. He did not. For each prefix of steps, consider all those steps and go backwards. But you mean that from one prefix I remember something and then use that again? I'm thinking Gupta about your suggestion, but I don't see what you mean. Or maybe you just provided some general idea and you don't know the details too. Maybe we use the fact that until here not many positions are touched. We can start with each of 2 to nth power states. Then we have this, so we know what are possibilities of those 5 positions. Then we have that, and we know possibilities of those 15 positions. And maybe the first time when the number of characters that we touched is at least 20, then we do something. An idea. There can be only n possible states after you sort something. After you sort some 5 positions, you don't know anything about most of the string, but those 5 positions, there can be, let's say, in form 0, 0, then maybe 1, 1, 1, and 1. Like this, there will be 6 ways for this. So I can remember 6 states like this. And in particular, this is limited by n. Then I have this. For each of them, there are again n options at most. So I think I can handle prefix, or the whole thing I can do in complexity n to kth power. And this is not a lot, and we can guess that this is actually much smaller. After considering those, what is our state of knowing something about this string? After considering only a 5, so a step that touches 5 positions, we only know that those 5 positions are 0, or 4 zeros, 1, 1, 3 zeros, 2 1s, and so on. But exactly, it depends on intersections too. If those intersect, that I think is the worst, that you will have something like 4 to 10th power if they don't intersect. So input is of sizes input of sizes 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. If they intersect, then the product can be bigger, product of those sizes, but because of intersections, some cases will not be there. or maybe even better, if 10 contains 2 of those elements, then for those 3 remaining elements there are some ways how they are arranged. Oh, that's actually great. I think that I have a proof how the time complexity doesn't exceed product of numbers, so number of states doesn't exceed product of numbers whose sum is at most 40. And if so, what is the worst case for that? 3 or 2 freeze. This will be the worst, or something like that. I think that's the worst. If you want to distribute 40 into numbers so that the product would be maximized. Yeah, like 2 million. Because no matter what prefix you have, if this is the last step you did, then those 7 positions, they produce 8 possibilities for what's going on with them. Then there are some positions that occurred here but not there. If there are x of them, there are x plus 1 possibilities, and so on. This plus 1 worries me. 3 better than 2. Sum 6. 3 times 3 greater than 2 times 2 times 2. If you want to distribute a sum into numbers to maximize the product, you should use freeze as much as possible. And that's the fact. It's a fact. It's not that we look at graphs like that. This is simpler than that. Actually, I knew this fact 15 years ago already. It was useful in some math competition. But there is the plus 1. But maybe plus 1 doesn't. Because there are 10 numbers, their worst case is that the sum of everything here is then 50. If I distribute 50 into numbers, exceed product of numbers xi plus 1, whose sum of xi is at most n, so sum of multiplied values is n plus k at most. So 3 to what power? 50 divided by 3, 3 to 16 times 2. 100 million. Oh, case 10. Case 10. That's great. We cannot do this. It will be, I think, then at worst 4 to 10th power still. 5 to 10th power. Only 10 numbers. We cannot optimally split into threes. Then I think, but I'm not certain, that we have this as the worst case, and then it's small enough. Doesn't need paper. During a contest I would use paper, but here I'm just writing down my thoughts for you to sometimes this is a little bit better than just me talking. Treat this as a draft notes, some nicer version of something I would doodle down on paper. This was also bad. Like this is also too many numbers. So nope. Nope and nope. Too many numbers. Twitch, you already asked that question. Both are difficult. Sort with length 20 in 5 moves. Well, I'm surprised, but I believe you. I've earlier asked this question, can we even do it for length 25 in 10 steps? Okay, I see. We go forward and we keep info about states. Do I go recursively? Yes, I will do it recursively. I have a vector like this with -1s, 0s and 1s. The question is whether I should add some kind of memoization. I don't know if it will speed things up because some states will be repeated, or it will slow things down because I add memoization. I think I will first... This case is for disjoint ranges of size 4. Memoization will not help at all. Groups of size 10. I see. Thank you, Krieg. G was weaker. Has weaker tests. Okay, I think that it's difficult to create tests for this problem. What problem am I solving? As you see in top left of my face, it's G. If you're asking what exactly I'm doing now in this problem, then the answer is, I think I've solved it. I came up with the solution. This will be what? Vector of int then? Or, no, an array, whatever. Zeros, ones, and -1s. Then I will get new step, new positions. But then this operation becomes slow if the step is big. But then there will be fewer steps. For big size of the input, I mean steps with many elements, memoization becomes useful, I would say. Oh, I also said 5 to 10th power manga. This was written before that. Ignore that. I said that this is worst case. Implementation efficient. If 10 million steps and for each of them we have like maybe 40 stuff. I forgive you for not noticing. My notes are always chaotic, no matter if it's on paper or here in text. But this is exponential solution, Twitch. This is the time complexity, but for different constraints maybe we should use different fraction because of some inequalities going on, but we have this quite unusual time complexity. It is exponential. I'm thinking about the implementation now, and I think I will implement it. For this, we count zeros and ones, then I iterate over the number of ones, and you know that it is in some range. Like if I gathered in positions that are pointed in the next step, if already there are 3 times 0, 2 times 1, and 10 times question mark, then the number of ones must be in range from 2 to 12. 12 comes from 15 minus 3, or just 2 plus 10. There are at least 2 ones, and at most ones plus question marks. I will iterate over ones in this range, and always I will say that prefix of that becomes zeros. It's easier to iterate over zeros. Yes. No. I'm not sure. Maybe once. I will go backwards and feel this is 1, this is 1. Then go recursively, this is 1, go recursively, this is 1, go recursively, and everything else by default 0. None. Low constraints are indeed very difficult, often. Should I use a global array? No, I need to pass a vector. So will it be taken by reference? No, by copy. No. Oh, I first just started with -1s because I know nothing. And I need to say which step it is right now. This is ID of step. Can n be 1? Yes, n can be 1. If a step is number of steps, then check if I sorted. If I sorted. Vector and not bit masks. There I have zeros, ones, and -1s. I can handle that with 2 bit masks. That's better for space. So it should be faster, but more annoying to code. I will start like that, and if needed I will switch. I counted question marks, ones, and zeros. And then I said somewhere what can be the number of ones. Yes, from, well, all the question marks can be replaced with a 1. So it's like, and I need to place all of those with 0. Then go backwards. Fill that many ones already. Go recursively. and then for every next question mark, not question mark, for every next possible number of ones. That was of course ones. So now put ones in suffix of this step, number, their count is in range from ones to ones plus questions or question marks. How to check if A is sorted? Should be zeros and then ones, and what if there are question marks? 2 question marks will mess things up, because I can go 1, 0. 1 question mark can be between zeros and ones. So something like this I should detect as okay, no matter what this question mark is, right? But it means I didn't touch this question mark. I can say that the number of ones is smaller by 1. Oh, because I... No. I think this is bad too. Because those ones represent big numbers, those small numbers, but this could be even smaller than anything else. If n is at least 2, then this is bad. So check if sorted. It should be zeros and then ones. This is hard to read, so I'll do it like that. If there is 1 and then 0, then bad. And I need to read into steps. Okay, reading done. Then okay. We don't have test cases, do we? Is that it? It's very short code. So I'm worried that I forgot about something. Damn it. If I passed those 2 tests, I would be very happy. I would know that my program is able to print in both cases. It is able to print both cases. So what is wrong? What happens if there are only question marks? Good stuff happens. By the way, it would be easier to just put ones, then without reversing, put zeros. It's a bit stupid that I'm changing this now, but now it seems more natural. Zeros. Am I reading correctly? 1, 2, 3. 43. Mark -1. I don't see any issue with this for loop. I first mark everything right now as, let's say, 1, because here I iterate over everything. Yep. And then I replace the first, some number of them as zeros. For each pair of positions, if they are good after all operations transitioned. Are you talking about a different problem or this one? Can you share the current code? Sure. What Mango said? Okay. If somebody said that, sorry for missing. Okay, I passed the first 2 samples. Should I run for some kind of max test? Yes, because I know how to generate a max test. Do I? I think I need memorization. Right now, I now have this time complexity. There is dogs who is that loud outside. I see, so this test is the 5 to nth power. But right now my code without memorization is just worse. Below 1 second. In Codeforces it might be a little bit slower. But yeah, right now my worst case will not be this, but instead it will be 4010. Let's go even with 2010. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why is this fast? Shouldn't this be 20 to 10th power? Why? Because of question marks. Okay, so I don't need memorization to make it fast. Never mind, I misunderstood something. I thought that I need memorization to handle cases where there are intersections. But that's not true. The time complexity every time gets multiplied by the number of new question marks that I cover, and they are then covered forever. That's a very nice way to look at the time complexity. Right. Let's see if this passes in Codeforces. I can use custom invocation. I assume that this test provided by Strictly Spicy is just 10 disjoint quadruples. I don't understand why it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's slightly too slow. I think I'm going to speed up the last iteration. Can I do that? I have already almost everything decided. There comes the last query, the last step. It looks at few positions. Maybe there are some question marks, and this is the case I need to speed up. There are a few question marks, and I want to mess things up. How do I achieve that? Either by putting as many as possible and as little as possible. So I will do this. If this is the last step and is not the last thing, then skip. For the last step I only consider just zeros or just ones. Twice faster, that's what I expected. In some cases the last step though will be only 2 elements. Yeah. For smarter tests this is not a significant speedup, but for this max test it is. If there would need to be tests, very specific tests, where it's like almost all 4s with some 5s around, like here and there, and the last step is 2, not 4. So I would need a test with like 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 2. Make 10 of them, but I doubt there will be such a test. So if I doubt that there is such a test, let's submit. Also, I'm hopeful because I was only like 15% slower than needed. I'm wrong? Is that because of the fix? Question marks. I thought about this, but I didn't do it. If n is 1, then question mark is okay. I'm telling you, I thought about it. I'm stupid because I didn't write it down. Accepted or time limit exceeded? Time limit exceeded. I can look at the test, but I don't think it will tell me a lot. 2, 4, 13, 18. So those are new. So it's 4 times 5. It will be close to that, and I think that I need around 1100 milliseconds. I will run it in custom invocation to see, but I bet it's very close. Someone added it as a hack. Here we go. Too slow by 20%. My fix was a stupid fix. If there are remaining question marks, the string always needs to look like this. And that's a nice limitation. But sometimes it will not give me a lot. If I get query about this 4, then those 4... No, still, it is something. But the very last step can sort everything. So it is okay if we do this. I think we need to get rid of this vector. Sad. Can I type this? I forgot how to use bitset. Wait, I can. I could use long of course, but bitset should be more convenient to use. This is pop count. So I can speed this up even more. Is one and this question mark. Can I do that? This question should be 0 as well when you do 0. Here it's already 0. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I changed all questions to false here. So all of them are gone from positions from the step. I don't need to modify it here or there. Slower. Why is it slower? Because I'm not compiling properly. 250. What about getting rid of this hack? That's worse than before. Why is it worse than before? And why are constraints in this problem so tight? I cannot use pop count because I only look at positions from the step. And the solution gets much slower if those last steps actually contain like 40 elements. Damn it. I will test in Codeforces, maybe for some magical reason it is fast. Steps as bitsets doesn't matter. I don't modify them. Not tight at all. Okay. My solution is just that. But is it only about implementation? My code is 60 milliseconds. I can, if I make steps into a bit set, then I can do this in constant. This in constant. This I cannot. Yes, I have additional times n, that's true. Because here we iterate. Well, in the last step we don't, with this trick. So we change steps into a bit set. Do I improve this too? Or actually, should I only improve that? This doesn't... Oh, yeah. This does not really matter, does it? Yeah, I should focus on that. Bitset has count, right? I will count once and I say that they should be the prefix. Can I quickly create a bitset equal to prefix? I don't know how to create, I can remember. There is train station nearby and I think that train doesn't like something. Sorry about this. Memo, prefix. It scared the shit out of me too. I will remember bit sets like this. You just need this. Do I? I can negate x. This will be fine. It became rejected, that's bad. Because zeros are in the prefix, not ones. Right. Should it be rejected, by the way? I don't remember what was the output here. Let's submit. Finally. How to do it better? I would call this tight constraints, tight limits. If the editorial says that it's okay to do n being 40 times 5 to 10th power, this is a lot. This is like 10 to 9th power. You have this without times n, right? When I got time limit, I just added a check 1000 random sequences. I would do this too, especially if this was the end of the contest. I don't think I have times n. Okay, then. Would it be that bad if times n passed conveniently, like without speedups? Right now I don't have times n either. This is all constant, so I'm not sure what happens second last. For the last step we do this. If I didn't want times n, I should, at least in the last recursion step, I should do this in constant time. I could do it if step was bitmask. So this, I agree. With this, and if step was bitmask, I could avoid those for loops, right? But of course those limits are tight. I couldn't do n times 5 to 10th power. I don't like it. If I don't use vectors? What do you mean by cache hit? Vector of size 40 will fit in cache. You mean that I should use an array? And I don't believe that vector can pass my vector, because here, right now my solution is much faster than the previous one with this. Many vectors being reallocated. I agree, but what do you want to use instead? Small vectors have big overhead, but it doesn't matter for vectors of size 40. I don't see how you want to avoid then these cache issues. Did I solve this problem myself? Alright, I think I didn't get any hints from the chat. If so, it's 2 hours 20 minutes. And we can kind of see how I would do during the contest. Let's say that I don't solve anything more, and I solve everything in 2 hours 20 minutes. I didn't implement something easy here. I didn't implement F, for example. But also I talked with the chat. Chat helped me with A. I think I would do things in 2 hours. Nice. Duality. That's top 40. I think my performance was top 40. Well, better than this. I shouldn't just look at this time, because I was very fast here. Those problems I came up with very quickly. I excluded. And it matters a lot in Codeforces how fast you solve easy problems, because it is then multiplied by some. Every minute saved on first problems is multiplied by the sum of points you could get on every problem later. How do you keep motivation for a long time? If you like something, then I don't know, it's easy. Let's look at H and then go home, because I don't want to spend more time today. I think I will now read H and I. Just read. Reading. Guess the perimeter. So it's an interactive problem where some lattice points are in the hidden rectangle. I see. It's not geometry. It's not geometry at all. Well, 4 isn't a lot. 4 seems to be smaller than logarithm, and that's surprising. But we get a lot of information from the answer. Okay. Seems like a fine problem. And I'm sure I wouldn't come up with a solution in 1 minute. And then there's I. What's I? Those need to be consecutive. I wonder if I will know the solution immediately if I know the structure. This, and that. They need to be consecutive. Maybe something like that. Let's say by default they are in this order. Now if somebody says that they like those, I maybe put 3, 6, 7, 9. Then maybe somebody likes 6, 9, 1. Then I do it. Maybe this problem is easier if I know at least one valid ordering. So this, then that, and so on. And then it becomes really the permutation tree. I think I can solve it if I first find at least one valid ordering. If I find it, then I have some ranges here that I know needs to be consecutive. Then we imagine it as a square, and we know that there must be some subsquares, and this creates a tree-like structure where every node, it has some children, and all of them must be together, and there is something special if they are in increasing order of squares or decreasing order of squares, because then every subrange is also stuff. Permutation tree, it's something that was described in Codeforces well around half a year ago. It was Chinese haven tree, something like this. This is one tutorial. If those drawings tell you something, that's this one. If I understand correctly, this should be used. And I know this because around 5 years ago I also independently invented it. And slightly related problem was in my AdCoder Grant Contest 047. Problem rooks. The intended solution doesn't use it. Petr used in Upsolving, I think, this tree. So this might be related. Well, what do I know? I think our editorial, if I understand correctly from this whole drama, is that the author didn't know about this permutation tree, so it will not be mentioned here by name. I would need to read the whole thing, and I'm not going to. I solved everything up to G. I skipped HI. I didn't implement some boring problems, but I know how to solve them. For sure, hardest for me here was G and A. Tanai, I read this. Solve problems that are slightly difficult for you, that's it. So PQ tree is something different than permutation tree? Depends on data structure, what do I know? It's something else if you have a lot of time. In that Codeforces block? You mean in the permutation tree block? Then we'll do this. Endagorian, no. Endagorian. Comments. Okay, so do you mean the permutation tree block? I think it is the same. It is different. It might be different. Like, then this is the link to the comment. I still cannot directly copy paste from here to the chat, so hence the extra step. But now I'm going to finish the stream. I will not investigate this further. Sorry about this. I think it was a healthy stream. I did more than I expected, but also problems were quite easy. Let's do a quick summary of what I think about the problems. Some feedback about the quality of the contest. Not final standings. Cool. A, too hard. B, fine. Too complicated. I don't know if those 5 elements were needed. Wouldn't free contests enough? Maximize intersections. I didn't like it. Very simple idea. No need to prove it. It rewards too much for, I don't know, dealing with such problems before. You can say that about every problem. I don't like it. I was very far from really analyzing this problem and thinking and then getting the aha idea. So it's wrong kind of simple greedy. IRA whatever. It was intuition quickly told me what should be done. Hard for me to estimate. Colors and intervals. Fine, but maybe again easy greedy. We have C, D. Okay, D wasn't greedy. Never mind then. C and E are similar in some way. F. F is fine. G is fine as well, but I don't like the limits. The limits were terrible. I want to see the editorial. This is a G, right? Yeah. Anything about time complexity? Okay, I will read this later. I need to go. Sorry. Thank you for watching.